Such a curious choice for your first foray into digital building. Well, I honestly couldn't tell you if I did build something else before it, but this is the oldest surviving model I remember, which also perhaps makes it the first MOC I designed that I had to order pieces for. I guess that makes it an important milestone for your LEGO ambition. I guess. And just how old is it exactly? The date on the file says November 12, 2006, and while I have changed computers multiple times since then, I do believe this date to be accurate. That is almost 20 years ago. Yeesh, don't remind me. It's so old that it won't even open with the latest version of LEGO Digital Designer or Bricklink Studio. Can you not locate an older version of LEGO Digital Designer through the Wayback Machine? I did. Turns out at the time I built the Sleigh, I was using the oldest suite, which only went up to version 1.6. And let me tell you, it's pretty antiquated. I had to wrestle with Windows just to let me install the crazy thing. That is quite antiquated, what with no right-click camera rotation and no click and drag selection. Fortunately, I didn't have to worry about that for too long, as for some reason I have a copy of the Sleigh's file from 2009 that opens just fine. Interesting. So how does it hold up to your modern models? Poorly. Besides being a fragile build, I did not align the Reindeer properly. The harness is attached in segments by turntables to allow for a graceful swoop into the sky, but the Reindeer block their movement. It is to be excused given your lack of experience at the time. True, and I have since modified it to restore the functionality. The present compartment is looking a little lacking though. That was out of my control. See, when LEGO Digital Designer first launched, it was part of LEGO Factory, which allowed you to purchase a model from LEGO. That was actually the motivation for me to build the model in the first place. But that meant a limited part supply, no? Correct. Though I'm not sure how much that controlled the final design, except I do remember I wanted to use transparent clear bricks under the Reindeer instead of transparent black. You mean transparent brown? Ah yes, I still forget that there's a new transparent black color now. Fun fact. The old transparent black color was always identified as transparent brown in official LEGO sources. Now that you mention it, I do remember it being labeled as such in Digital Designer. Do you still have the physical model? Of course! Been pulling it out every year. Still have the box too. Those were customizable too, were they not? Yep. You were able to choose one of their preset backgrounds as well as add some additional effects, so I put some stars trailing behind it to imply it was flying. Sounds like it was a pretty good experience. Mostly, but there was one issue. Which was? The instructions. I don't think it came with any. What makes you say that? Because the instructions are just printed on regular paper, and not even full page. And the pictures barely even show what's going on, which is in line with Digital Designer's built-in instruction maker, which has always been notoriously bad. But the main reason is that the top of each page is dated for November 22nd, 2006, which is a little more than a week after the packing slip's date of November 14th. That is a bit of an error. One thing to note with the packing slip is that it says the model itself was $31.42, with an additional $6.95 for shipping and handling. At 282 pieces, that makes it about 11 cents a piece, not including the processing fees. Not bad for a completely custom item. Not at all. I wonder why they discontinued the feature. I mean, they still have Pick-a-Brick, which is generally the same concept, just without the interface. There just must have been some other logistical reason. I suppose. Were there any inspirations you took from for this build? The Sleigh is completely original, but Santa is based off of the brick-built people I saw in the Ultimate LEGO book. The Reindeer is also from somewhere, but I can't recall where. I've looked in old magazines, advent calendars, and I just can't find it. Perhaps it was from building instructions on the LEGO website. Well, if that's the case, I'll most likely never find it. The Wayback Machine tends to get finicky that far back, and if it requires being logged into the LEGO Club, then it'll be impossible to obtain. A shame. Even in this digital age, things can quite easily become lost and forgotten if not intentionally preserved. Speaking of which, there is one thing I'd like to intentionally mention as we sign off. I found it when looking through old LEGO Club magazines trying to find my Reindeer reference. It was in the November-December 2002 issue. Just this little holiday poem. 'Tis the holiday season, and all through Lego Town seems the holiday spirits nowhere to be found. So let's gather up bricks from each cranny and nook and create a more festively seasonal look. First we'll build some fir trees and a loblolly pine, and a sleigh for Bobtail, the one-horse open kind. We'll build a snowman with a huge carrot nose, and some holiday gifts decked with ribbons and bows, and a ski lift that climbs up, up, up for a mile. Look out, here comes St. Nick and he's carving freestyle. When the sun starts to sink and the weather turns chilly, we'll build us a Lego brick lodge willy-nilly, with a stocking-draped hearth and an evergreen wreath, and a cricklity-crackly fire underneath. Then we'll lift our hot cocoa and let out a cheer for the veriest merriest time of the year. Oh, that's just how we'll build it, 'cause when each year ends, all our happiest holidays are those built with friends. Well, that's life. All things come to an end. Like this video? Exactly. If you want to see more of my LEGO content, feel free to check out the links in the description. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.